Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Speaker of the House, David Ralston.
Thank you very much, Craig, for that introduction, and good morning to you all. I have to begin, though, by reminding this group of a prophecy that I proclaimed from this podium several years ago when I shared with you a dream that we would have to delay this breakfast at least one day to watch the Georgia Bulldogs in the National Football Collegiate Championship game. And so it has come to pass. It is an exciting time to be in Georgia. Our economy is booming, our population is growing, our outlook has never been more optimistic. Thankfully, we haven't kept our success to ourselves. We've said loud and clear that Georgia is open for business. As the #1 state for business, yes, 5 years in a row, we are seeing unprecedented interest from companies that want to relocate and expand to our state. Data from the Department of Economic Development backs this up. In fiscal year 2017, the department saw a 24% increase in project leads over the prior fiscal year. Both potential investment and jobs have increased as well. In a state that enjoys an unemployment rate of only 4.3%, that's no small achievement. And I want to thank Commissioner Pat Wilson and his team, as well as the Metro Chamber and the Georgia Chamber, for keeping Georgia on everyone's mind. Just as business investment is growing, goods from around the world continue to pour into our ports. Last year, our ports saw an 8% increase in total tonnage, another record high. That's why we are investing in our ports by deepening the Savannah River Harbor and improving rail connectivity. You see, in Georgia, we recognize that growth isn't something that happens by accident. Rather, we must plan with great care and attention. We must work together to keep moving forward. Over the last year, the House of Representatives has been hard at work finding ways to expand economic opportunity all over Georgia. Last year on this stage, I discussed with you our Commission on Transit, Governance, and Funding. This group, led by Chairman Kevin Tanner, this group of transit operators, local officials, and legislators are discussing how we can better utilize transit throughout Georgia. They have been looking at two primary questions. First, what can we do to make it easier for transit systems to coordinate their efforts across jurisdictional boundaries? Second, what is the appropriate role of state government in funding transit? Just last night, I read a Policy Best article that said MARTA stations serving Mercedes-Benz Stadium saw 20 times more riders than normal this past Monday. I didn't say 20% more. I said 20 times more. That shows what a major event like the College Football Championship can mean for our transportation network. As we look ahead to the 2019 Super Bowl, the 2020 Men's College Basketball Final Four, and beyond, we must recognize that transit is a critical part of our ability to compete with other states. This is true for major events as well as high-profile corporate relocations. I, for one, believe it is time for the state to make a serious but sensible investment in transit. The return on such an investment could be profound. We're talking about congestion mitigation, economic development, and a better quality of life for all Georgians. Quality of life matters throughout the state, whether you live on a MARTA line or on a dirt road. To that end, we've also had our House Rural Development Council traveling the state the last 8 months under the leadership of Chairman Jay Powell and Terry England. They have held over 70 hours of discussion about expanding economic opportunity to rural Georgia. While our state is growing and prospering, we know that prosperity isn't being felt in every corner of the state. The Rural Development Council's goal is to develop policies that will encourage private businesses to grow and create jobs in our rural communities. The Rural Development Council has focused on pragmatic policy areas like infrastructure, workforce development, and health care. The preliminary recommendations of both the Rural Development Council and the Transit Commission will make their way through the legislative process this session. In that process, these recommendations will be thoroughly and carefully examined and discussed. Some recommendations will make it into legislative proposals this year, others will not. I would remind us all that these are multi-year efforts that will continue even after this session adjourns. These efforts are the kind of collaborative, forward-thinking discussions that we must have as Georgians to keep our economy and our state great. But there are other issues that we must attend to keep Georgia good. A good state is one that cares for the least among us. Last year, Representative Burt Reeves championed a bipartisan adoption reform bill, one that he has worked on for 3 years now. This bill would be the first substantive update to our adoption laws in Georgia in almost 3 decades. Despite passing the House twice, unanimously both times, that bill never made it to the governor's desk. That bill is still waiting. Those children who need permanent, stable, and loving homes are still waiting. They have been denied a year. It is time for us to do the right thing. It is time to get a clean adoption bill to Governor Deal's desk as soon as possible. These children deserve no less. May God especially bless them as He does all of us. May He continue to bless this great state and these United States of America. Thank you very much. Thank you.